Hi, I'm Rick Rheins, Senior Rabbi at Temple Sinai in Denver, Colorado. This week's Torah portion is Vayeitzei from chapters 28 through the beginning of chapter 32 in the book of Genesis. I want to focus on the very beginning of it, chapter 28, in which we have that famous passage of Jacob's dream. He's running away from his brother Esav, who wants to beat him up, or worse, and he's also running toward a future because his mom, Rebecca, has promised him, go to my brother Laban in Mesopotamia, and maybe there will be a shidduch, a connection, a future for you, a future bride for you. And so Jacob, as this young man on his way away from sibling rivalry towards the potential for romance and adventure, is filled with himself. I, me, mine, as George Harrison of the Beatles would say. He's filled with him, all about me, right? And he comes to this place, a makom, and he lies down to sleep that night, and he has a dream, this famous Jacob's dream, in which there is a sulam, a ladder or a stairway to heaven, keeping on the rock and roll theme. As I had mentioned the Beatles, like I mentioned the Led Zeppelin. So there's stairway to heaven, a sulam. And on this ladder in Jacob's dream is something remarkable. There are angels, malachim, who are olim v'yordim. They are going up and they're going down. And then God speaks to Jacob, saying specifically, I am going to be with you. I personally, Jacob, will be with you, and I'll bring you back to this land, and you will be a blessing, and people will bless themselves through you. So it's a remarkable dream, which our ancestors then, of course, we parse it. We think, what's going on here? First of all, that there's just a nondescript place, hamakom. He's coming to a place. Well, one of the references to God is makom, that God is in every place. But Jacob, being filled with himself, isn't one who would necessarily connect with that, because it's all about what he's escaping from, his adventures to come, and the potential for romance, all of these things about him. He doesn't notice that there's a sense of holiness wherever he is. And then there's also the idea that, again, throughout the Talmud, Midrash is, how come angels, olim v'yordim, angels are going up that ladder, that stairway to heaven, and then coming down? Wouldn't it be that they're from heaven, that they're coming down first, and then they're going up? And the commentator said, wait, that's the way it is. Angels are in our midst. Each human being has angels. Each human being has a sense of holiness and a connection. So it's not just, oh, angels up in heaven, but angels are all around us. And there's a role that we've seen throughout the reading of the Torah in which human beings too act as malachim, because a malach, an angel, is also a messenger. So each human has an angelic part to their being. And then Jacob, after this remarkable dream, wakes up and he says, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom chazeh v'anochi lo yadati. God, Adonai, is in this place, but I did not know it, because I was so self-centered. I was thinking just about me, what I needed, what I wanted. And holiness was pausing and realizing, wait a minute, there's this whole world around me. I'm not going to get to the rest of the story, because as it concludes, eventually he's going to have a reconciliation with his brother Esav, and he sees the angelic potential in just about everyone he meets. It's for us, however, to consider that God is in this place, and we don't always recognize it because we're filled with our own concerns. Naturally so. We focus all too often, I think, on our tsuras, on the pain and the frustration and the aggravation and the disappointment. And there are those out this world. I mean, there's many things to make us upset, for sure. But this week, tomorrow, on Thursday, we'll have the Thanksgiving gathering. Throughout the United States, people gather and they'll have a time for Thanksgiving to say, wait a minute, it's not just the tzur, it's not just the complaint. What am I giving thanks for? And as we gather with family, it's not always easy too. Sometimes we have, as Jacob did with Esau, sibling rivalries and some contests of wills that don't always bring out the best in us. Could it be that this Thanksgiving, that we look at each other and see the angelic, see the specialness, see the holiness, see also, as I've mentioned before, our vulnerability. We each have that. And it's not like I'm under attack. I'm the one who's always the victim here. No, no, no. Each person feels vulnerable. Each person has needs and wants and hopes and fears and anxieties. Let us look at each other with that angelic hope, the specialness that makes each person reflect the holiness that God has used to create this universe, and also the tenderness that is necessary. And we gather together with those people then with that new sense of attitude that it's not always about me, it's also about all the people that I'm blessed to have in my life. And for them, I give thanks. I give thanks for this opportunity to be with people. And all of a sudden, when I see them around me, then I can say, Yesh Adonai b'makom chazeh. God is most certainly in this place. And I do know it. I do see it. And for that, I give thanks. May this Thanksgiving be one of renewed joy and appreciation and gratitude. And of course, as we look to the Shabbat ahead and we read these magnificent stories, this one of Jacob and eventually Rachel and Leah and children, I wish all of you a beautiful and meaningful Shabbat Shalom.